Welcome, everyone, to the 2021 Whitebird Invitational Double Elimination Tournament Grand Championship. I'm excited to be here. Hopefully, all you guys out there are also excited to be watching this game. A lot of X-Wing went into this. We've got two great X-Wing players here meeting for the first time in this tournament, facing off in the first of maybe two games, depending on who wins, what the outcome of this particular game is. But I'm super excited to see these two lists on the table. I'm very excited to see these two players face off. On my left, playing his 3HMP and General Grievous list, we have Steven. On the right, playing his typical Imperial Aces featuring Soontir, Duchess, and Deathrain, we have Jesse. These are two incredible X-Wing players in the Lab Squadron community. One of the last times we were able to play live, well, actually about 2 years ago, both of these guys made it to the top four of a system open. Steven on the left ended up winning that system open, while Jesse was in the top four. So these are two players who have a long and very illustrious resume in the X-Wing competitive scene, and I am excited, very, very excited, if you can't tell, to be watching them play in this championship match. But more importantly, I'm excited to be joined by two of my good friends and X-Wing compatriots, Ken and Nathan. Ken and Nathan, how you guys doing?
Not bad.
Oh, that's the nicest you've been to us in a long time.
It's a nice streak in that it was a nice way to say Jesse made the top four, but not the top table. That was diplomatic.
Well, it is deeper into a system open than I have ever gotten. So my hats off to both of these guys. But no, this is great. This is a DC centric game. Both of these guys currently live in the area, but our commentators, right now, right now at least, are across the country. We've got Nathan in Minnesota and Ken out there in Colorado. So I'm glad you guys could be on the virtual commentators booth with me tonight. But do you guys mind breaking down these two lists and tell me what each of these players brings to their particular list?
Yeah, I guess I'll start since I'm on the right side. So we have Jesse, as you alluded to earlier, playing kind of his typical archetype of triple Imperial Aces, very similar to what he almost made the top table at PAX Unplugged 2018 with. So he's rolling with Soontir, basic loadout of Predator and Shield upgrade to give him a little bit more health. And then you have Duchess, who's loaded with also Predator, fifth brother for that force, and also the kind of wild card rolling with proximity mines. And then last is Deathrain, loaded to the gills. A little atypical in that he's not got trajectory simulator on there, but instead has opted to go with the Diamond Boron missiles for projecting force out front.
Yeah, and Steven is running something that's a little bit newer in the meta. He's got Grievous, a staple of CIS list building, with Daredevil, so Grievous can do those red hard turn boosts, and then has Soulless one to add 2 extra health and some defensive rerolls. And then where the list gets really interesting is all of these HMP gunships. He's got one of the named ones, the initiative one, DGS-047, which can get locks after it does an attack, or it can also hand out strain if the defender's in the bullseye. And that guy's got concussion missiles, and he's got probe droids to make sure he can get locks out there early. The really scary thing about these, or one of the scary things about these gunships, is that they all get rerolls for every other ship that has that also has locks. So these guys are super consistent offensively. Plus, they're sitting behind 8 health.
Mm-hmm.
And then the two Geonosian prototypes he's got are almost identically built out. One or both have synced laser cannons, which just a range 2 to 3 cannon, 3 dice at the front. But the thing that I always find terrifying about this is it negates range bonuses if the Geonosian prototype is calculated.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, one of the Geonosian prototypes is carrying Kraken, which lets them keep extra calculates around. So, and then they all have that configuration that lets them do maneuvers or side slip maneuvers in ways that break my brain and make this really hard to fly against. So, Steven's just got a bunch of tanky, beefy, nasty ships that you can hear from the way I'm talking about this. I don't like flying against.
And what I love about this finals matchup is, not only are these great players, but they are bringing list that they are incredibly comfortable with. I mean, you've got Jesse here, who's been flying Imperial Aces, especially Soontir and especially Duchess, for a long, long time, and Death Rain too. And not only that, he has crafted his list in a way where he's able to kit out each of these ships in almost a maximal effect. Like he's got a Duchess with every single toy. He's got Soontir with the shield upgrade to prevent that initial early game crit. And Death Rain, you mentioned he did get rid of the trajectory simulator. But I think in this particular meta that we have locally in this tournament, and I think in general, it's a good choice to bring those Diamond Boron missiles.
Just a heads up, they are about 15 seconds in.
Okay. And what I think is, so that even though he can't drop a bomb in the middle of this cluster of HMPs, he can definitely Diamond Boron somebody easily and then splash that damage around, because these HMPs want to kind of be together initially. Now the flip side of that, you've got Steven with this incredibly efficient, very just every upgrade I think is exactly where it wants to be in this list to kind of be as efficient as possible. Whether it's Kraken keeping those tokens out there, you've got Grievous, who's just this threatening flanker, that probe droid to drop those target locks and really make these double modded shots every round. I mean, it is, these guys know what they're facing, and not they have game plans, but a lot can change really quickly depending on how the opening round goes, especially how the opening engagement goes. So I'm really looking forward to how this thing kind of begins to play out as they feel each other out in the beginning.
Yeah, Steven and I played a few weekends back when I was in the DC area. We did a heavily hand sanitized, heavily masked outdoor X-Wing game. All the caveats, so it doesn't seem like we're super spreaders. But Steven and I played 3 games. He played these gunships 3 times. I got demolished 3 times in a row. After every game, he very graciously said, "Do you want me to play something else?" And my response usually was, "No, you can hurt me again. It's fine." So he's very efficient, and they are very offensively consistent. You basically you assume that they're going to get that the sync laser cannon is going to get 3 hits each time.
Mm-hmm. And at range 3, that is the kind of death zone where Jesse doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be in arc at range 3 of these HMPs, or else he's going to be facing some particularly nasty shots. But I mean, even in arc in general, range 2 to 3 is probably not where Jesse wants to live. But I think talking to him beforehand, and you can kind of see it here, he's really looking to spread his aces out wide early. He wants to put himself in at least one angle of kind of advantage against those ships that they may have a 180-degree arc, but the dice that they are rolling outside of their primary front 90-degree arc are only 2 dice, and not with the sync laser cannon's range bonus negation. So there is an advantage to at least one part of his list flanking these guys in some capacity.
Yeah, and we just saw the named HMP drop a probe droid. So what he's looking to do is get target locks probably on Soontir and Death Rain early. And seeing the HMPs head off to link up with Grievous, you just may see Jesse try and just engage that probe droid, just get it off the map.
Yeah, and what I like about this particular matchup, again, I sound like like just a fanboy about this, but I really am looking forward to these guys playing. But what I really like about this matchup too is, we've seen a lot of play over the course of this tournament where people have been very conservative and really kind of feeling each other out for that opening advantage. But these guys both are very good at just taking their time, not overcommitting, and really making sure that when they finally decide to engage, they do it on their terms. And so seeing them both, kind of playing this game initially to get that opening position that's advantageous to them. I mean, it's going to be real. Well, I'm going to learn a lot, I think, watching this game.
I think the other thing that's really exciting about this game is that not only are they 2 very good players at what the archetypes that they're good at, but they're also 2 players who are very familiar with each other's play styles and with each other's tactics. Like Steven has to be knowing that Jesse is going to try to envelop him, try to get around him. Mm-hmm. Jesse has to know that Steven knows how to prevent that. So there's some really interesting sort of cat and mouse tactics that can happen when you have 2 players that are this familiar with each other.
Yeah. So Steven here side-slipping early. He's kind of put himself in that little pocket of obstacles, which is an interesting setup. I didn't quite watch who was placing the obstacles where, but they create a little net around what is Steven's kind of typical position for his HMPs in the middle of the board. So now he is kind of slipping into the right part of that pocket. And having sideslipped, he's going to be either turning or going straight next turn, but he won't be sideslipping again. So it's curious to see where Steven goes after this. I think he understands that Jesse is not going to dangle Soontir out in any respect. So he's kind of seeing where Death Rain's going, but it's real early here. I mean, part of Jesse's setup with Death Rain kind of bumping early is to not really commit Death Rain at all in the first round here. So, Steven's already taken kind of two big moves here with his HMPs, and Death Rain hasn't moved once. So there's a lot for Jesse to or a lot for Steven to learn about Death Rain before he really commits.
And this really shows you how much Steven has played this list, that to side slip with the yellow and hugging the edge of the board. Like, there's no hesitation. He knew he was going to clear that, whereas I was like, I don't know.
Right. So if let's kind of we'll play we'll kind of get inside the heads of these competitors here. If you're Jesse, you know that you're facing 24 health worth of HMPs plus Grievous, who's looking to flank early on, and you've got a couple relatively fragile aces and one big hitter. How do you what is your ideal kind of optimal scenario for this opening engagement? Where do you want Steven to be, and where do you want your ships to be?
I mean,
go ahead, Nathan.
Normally I think against this list, the strategy I've tried to talk myself into, although I have zero game time with it, is hopefully you get Grievous out of position. It doesn't appear that Steven is opening up that option for Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I think, Soontir is incredibly flexible in where he can be, but Duchess is the most squirrely is the most squirrely thing that Jesse has in terms of just position and getting out of arcs. And so I think in some ways it may behoove Jesse to play more aggressively and more risky with Duchess, knowing that that may be the ship that is most likely to actually get behind all these HMPs. And I think you need to attack them from multiple vectors. Yeah. Otherwise, they're just going to circle you to death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think what we just saw there was an opening shot from Soontir onto that probe droid. Not an insignificant dodge by Steven. So Soontir obviously rolled 2 hits there with his focus, and Steven, the probe droids obviously have no tokens, and so he ended up with 2 natural evades. That destruction early on of that probe droid, seems small, but not having that kind of probe droid way out ahead of your HMP sometimes to get the early locks can be a real problem. So Steven kind of breathing a sigh of relief there that his probe droid stays on the table so he gets some locks.
Yeah, them all getting locks on Soontir next round was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll change it up. Now Jesse can't be super aggressive with Soontir. He's really got to kind of almost break off, I would say, because of the way these HMPs can just turn face and be right there.
Yeah.
Do devices take damage from devices? Like, if he drops a thermal detonator, will that
yes.
damage?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Now let's take the flip side of that little psychological experiment. If you are Steven here, what is your ideal opening position against Jesse? Who are you looking to not really catch out, but at least kind of be in a position to fire shots at, to have good position on? Who are your eyes on right now?
I would imagine it's got to be try and strip that shield off of Soontir, as well as Death Rain. I feel like Duchess, because of the Airlines, it's almost a fool's gambit to just try and pen her in. So it's almost kind of want to ignore her and try and focus on the other two, force Soontir to fly scared. And yeah, so there you go. So you see he's going to turn in and dare Jesse to come in with Soontir.
Yeah,
I got to imagine he's going to lay down the target lock here.
And the great thing about these HOPs too is like he may be turning into Soontir, and any other ship, this kind of commitment to one side of that ace pincer would seem to be a commitment that you really made with that you had to commit to. But with those side slips, he could easily just side slip again next turn. He's turned his repulsor lifts on, which that's clearly what he's thinking.
Right, that he'll just be like a 4 straight over from where yellow is right now if he side slips with red.
Right, yeah. He'll essentially be back to where he was when he started this game.
So when are we going to give Steven points? NPE points for global fortressing. Something has to be done about this list.
So there's that target lock from the probe droid. And really, I mean, the fun thing about having 4 ships that can target lock here is that to really kind of leverage that network aim is you could conceivably split your target locks here between Death Rain and Soontir if you wanted to, or even Duchess. So at a certain point, having 3 locks, 4 locks, it kind of becomes less advantageous. So you may see at some point here, Steven, if he keeps target locking, split some of those locks off.
Right, especially with them,
There you
with
go,
it being
right there.
with a 3-die gun, it's like at a certain point, average rolls means
Mhm.
you only need 1 or 2. Like at most, you just need 2 rerolls.
Right. And so essentially what he set himself up with is just those great passive target locks on 2/3 of Jesse's list, or sorry, 2 passive rerolls against 2/3 of the list, which is few lists, and even better, it's kind of splitting off here. So he's not what in a normal kind of list where you might have, like, think back to like first edition where you had the long range scanners, where it was great to be able to drop all your target locks on somebody, but typically you would pick one ship, and you're really splitting off the target locks here with the passive rerolls gives him a lot of options for the engagements.
And here's something that I hadn't realized before. Steven just took that Grievous lock, is that networked aim, like obviously Grievous can't use their locks for rerolls, but they can use Grievous's lock as a lock opener, which I hadn't realized, even though I've gotten demolished by this list several times. So that's even more reason to dislike it. I'm not salty at all.
So here Duchess is seeing a little bit of an opening, as even with the side slip, those HMPs will be a little bit farther up the board, and giving himself the potential to flank here. But at the same time, there's no, Jesse has a lot of options for how quickly he engages with Duchess, depending on what he sees. He'll probably dial in a left turn or bank maneuver, but if he feels like he wants to bail, he can always do a hard turn out of that. So there's a lot of things that Jesse can do here to keep his options open with Duchess and not overcommit. But you can see there Soontir kind of keeping everything at arm's length, turned away, barrel rolled out. There's no reason for Soontir to get too risky right now, so Soontir's going to kind of stall over there for a while and see where Death Rain ends up.
I think what's got to be frustrating about and I genuinely don't think Steven is actually mobile fortressing this, but the side slip thing that Steven can keep doing means that just the inertia of Jesse's ships, like Steven never has to enter into that asteroid field.
Right.
Jesse realistically has to, and that's where Steven gains an advantage in the opening.
Right. But I think what we'll see though is that Jesse will try to have Death Rain come down the middle here, maybe through those 2 asteroids in the middle, and then kind of really see if he can pummel the HMPs with an early diamond boron, survive the shots to get in there for an APT. And if he could do that, if he could even trade Death Rain for 1 HMP or 1.5 HMPs, I think Jesse's pretty happy. Because at that point you've got Soontir and Duchess, who will be facing 2 HMPs, and Grievous. It's not perfect, but it's at least kind of chipping away some of that strength of numbers that the HMPs have.
Yeah, I think if he trades Death Rain for 1, it's a game. If he can get more than 1, it starts to be advantage territory.
Yeah, because Grievous being I4, his built-in abilities are going to be less in play this game. He's more of a 3-dice gun than he is a flanker and a kind of a passive reroller. You're just not going to get outflank. He's not going to outflank Soontir and Duchess.
What is Grievous's points compared to the rest of?
So Grievous is 52. He is underneath everything else in Jesse's list. Jesse has a 64-point Soontir, a 70-point Duchess, and a 59-point Death Rain. So if it comes down to Grievous versus somebody else, then Jesse's up.
Yeah. So Jesse's goal is to trade Death Rain and one of his aces for all the HMPs.
Yeah. So I think he's going to probably just even as he creeps these 2 aces up, I think Death Rain's going to lead the offensive charge here. Probably tank some of the damage from these opening shots, and just if he can get all eyes on Death Rain in the opening engagements, while Soontir and Duchess are like a turn behind flanking, I think he'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think in the last 15 minutes, this game is going to come down to a math exercise. Both these players very much are always aware of what the score is, and I feel like Jesse knows, especially with this list and the current meta, 4+ ships, that it's a math game that he really needs to be ahead on points for, put himself in the best position to get those points in the last volley.
Yeah.
24 health, that's a lot to chew through. I think one of the infuriating things about the HMPs is that they do have 3 shields. I think mostly facing a CIS droid list, you don't worry about it too much because normally they're not shielded. So if you can sneak a crit in there that helps you out, like a weapons failure or something, you're okay with that. But yeah, just to even get through those 3 shields is maddening, as I found out against you. So
right.
You really need 2 of your guns on them each round to really start doing significant damage and to efficiently take them down, which can be a challenge with squirrely aces. That's oftentimes like as an ace player, you are prioritizing not taking shots often over taking shots, which is going to be a challenge in this game where you need to put time on target in order to burn through.
Yeah.
I want to say the burliness of these guys. It makes them sound like a lumberjack.
And we can see what early on what Jesse's doing with Death Rain here. One of the best combinations in the game, Death Rain plus thermal detonators. Just dropping that one thermal det, getting a pre-move, pre-action focus here. And when it comes to the time to get in real tight, he can drop 2 of those things at the same time and potentially get 2 actions before he's even moved. And the beauty as well of being I4 and having initiative over Steven's entire list is there are going to be turns when Death Rain drops a bomb, gets a pre-move action, just moves, sees that he has no shot, isn't threatened, and he'll just reload. And he'll reload 2 of those guys. So it's thermal dets is a relatively speaking new upgrade for Death Rain to use, and it's just the perfect combination with his ability.
I would pay 4 points on any of my list to have a pseudo advanced sensors.
Exactly. But again, we see there's no rush for Steven. He's back to where he started. He's gonna make the engagement on this side of the board and see where it goes. But yeah, I think there's something about the 8 health. Going back to that conversation, the 8 health HMPs. They're just I don't know what it is about number 8, but I always find myself needing 3, if not 4 shots to get through those guys. And so it goes to your point, Nathan, of he really needs 2 guns a turn on those on one of the HMPs to take them out. Because I think if he tries to do it with 1 ship and 2 turns, he's going to come up just short.
Completely unrelated to what's actually going on. These things always remind me of Cylons.
I can see that. All right, so Jesse, no reason I think to boost up in here and to take a shot. He's just opening himself up for the SLCs, so we'll probably stick to where he is. Just want to take a moment to make note of one thing. This being a double elimination tournament, Steven was able to get to this final table by going 3-0 in the preliminary rounds and kind of taking a break and buying himself a berth in the final game. Now Jesse lost his first match in the first round and then had to fight through 4 separate second chance bracket games to get where he is right now. That said, being double elimination and Jesse coming from the second chance bracket and Steven from the winner's bracket, a win here by Jesse does not give him the championship. A win here gets him the chance to play Steven again at his first shot at the championship. So Jesse needing to win 2 games in a row here, Steven only needing to win 1. Not to say that gives Steven a definite advantage. I mean, obviously it does in some respects, but the pressure is definitely on here for Jesse in this elimination match. And we're kind of in the game 6 right now. Game 7 is still, to be determined if we have to play it.
That's not tonight either.
No,
correct?
No. We will if it comes to that, if that game is necessary, we will play that on a different night, probably this week.
Please, I have an 8:30 a.m. vaccine appointment tomorrow. I'm not staying up that
Oh,
night.
nice! Congrats. Yeah. So you saw Death Rain choosing not to engage and just reload and get ready, and then he's swinging Duchess out. So I think Soontir will be somewhat not aggressive, but coming in closer, and then you're going to see all 3 converge.
And go ahead. Sorry, Nathan.
I like what Jesse's doing here. Where Death Rain is coming in for a joust, but Death Rain it's a joust where it's demanding attention from the HMPs, which means that he can't if Steven turns on Soontir or turns on Duchess, he's so exposed, and so. I think this is an example of Jesse knowing what he needs to do and using his resources really well and saying, all right, I'm not going to keep Death Rain alive forever. We're going to efficiently trade him, and we're going to use him as a sacrifice piece to let my other pieces get in advantageous positions.
Exactly. And Soontir and Duchess are in fantastic positions. I mean, just like you said, Steven cannot ignore Death Rain the next turn, but Duchess and Soontir will get shots. Duchess can be wherever she wants to be with an aileron and maybe an aileron and a 3 bank or a 3 hard. He can be exactly where he wants to be in the flank of that entire list. Same with Soontir. Soontir could do a 3 forward, see where he is, maybe even a 4 forward. He wants to be aggressive. Just something to get into that pocket of maybe a range 3 shot on the HMPs. I think Jesse has played this opening just about as well as he can against a list that can literally just keep its back to the wall the whole game.
Well, and to that point of, one of the things I said earlier was a challenge for Jesse is that Steven doesn't have to enter the rocks and Jesse does, but Jesse, to his credit, has barely entered the rocks and has almost maximum flexibility with his entire list. Duchess has to go straight, but has plenty of room to do that one straight that he wants to do. So I think Jesse has played this range control early game really, really well, and shows to his credit as a very good Imperial Aces player.
Yeah. Now, on the opposite side of that, Steven does. So Death Rain has 9 health behind 1 green die. Steven will get all 4 guns on Death Rain this turn. 2 of those guns will be SLCs. 1 will be, potentially a concussion missile from yellow, and a Grievous shot under the range 3 die. So he could put 12 red dice into Death Rain, conceivably. There is a chance that Death Rain dies this round, and then Steven can turn on whoever he wants to turn on next round with a side slip. So this open engagement will mean a lot, whether an HMP survive. Well, an HMP will survive, most likely, and Death Rain may or may not survive himself. So there's a lot riding on this open engagement.
This goes a little into how aggressive Jesse wants to be, but one interesting thing out there is that there's only 1 lock on Death Rain. It's on yellow, who is in the back row. But if Jesse can initiative kill that yellow droid, like, some of the mods go away.
Yeah, I mean, some of the mods go away. I totally agree, but I think the target's still the Kraken HMP. If I take a wild guess, I think that's where Jesse. I mean,
that is the same one.
Oh, it's on yellow.
Yeah, it's on yellow. So look at me being doubly correct.
I don't think you are. Oh, you're totally right. This is something I didn't.
How dare you doubt
me? Look at you. Actually, let me create the colors on the overlay here while I let you guys talk.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if this joust does go down. Jesse absolutely has to take 1 HMP off the board, or he's got a huge uphill battle if it's going to be Duchess and Soontir against 4 guys.
Steven being smart and not overcommitting.
Yeah, no, I am curious if Death Rain stalls here to keep yellow at arms, to keep yellow out of shot here.
He's switching the locks, which is smart, which negates the strategy that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. But there's a chance if Jesse takes a stop with Death Rain here. He's already got a pre-move action. He could keep yellow from having a shot, but at the same time, I think he only.
I don't think he has the lock.
Yeah, exactly. So right. So I think you're right. So without the lock, I think he's definitely going forward. Which is definitely going to put him in range of all 4 shots.
Yellow still might be iffy. Oh, if he moves forward, right.
Interesting.
So that's interesting.
5 forward there by Grievous. Most likely barrel rolling and focusing, I would imagine.
Yeah. Trying to get the block in.
Or just a really juicy range 1 shot. He's really
I think he wants that range 1 shot. I think he knows that he's got to put Death Rain down this round.
It's also great positioning for Grievous. Gets him out of like the flank position.
Exactly.
Duchess wrapping around.
Yeah, so he's really going to make sure that. I mean, they can keep Soontir on us next round because if Soontir comes in on the far side of this rock to try to get into the shot in the HMP, and Grievous can kind of come around on Soontir. I mean, that's kind of ideal.
Here's an interesting question: like, if you're Steven, do you want the block or do you want just to pummel Death Rain?
I think you want a shot. I think you want to see a 1 forward here, exactly like that happened. Exactly.
Yeah. Because he's not going to shoot Grievous.
No. He needs an HMP off the table this round. Man, so that we are 23 minutes into this game. We're finally into the engagement, but I think again these are 2 players who know each other, know their win condition, and now it's going to just come down to how they both I think got as good an engagement as they could ask for. Now it's going to come down to who rolls dice better.
So Jesse did passive sensors, so he'll choose a lock based on where it seems correct.
Yeah, so an aileron and a 2 hard, Dutch is going to sit behind that cloud. She'll still have an unobstructed shot on somebody, but at the same time, we'll see what the action is. I think debating the barrel roll versus the focus.
Yeah, I think sorry, I interrupted. Yeah, barrel roll, and then he's got what's his name? 5th brother.
Oh, right. So yeah, he could easily barrel roll here and still have a mod. Oh,
that's going at Grievous.
Yeah.
Gets you the Predator on Grievous.
Mm-hmm. Gets you the Predator on Grievous. You still have the 5th brother. I think it's going to happen. So, let's see. So, does APT requires a target lock, right?
It does. I forgot he has APT.
But he doesn't have target lock on Grievous, though, does he?
He has passive sensors out.
Oh, right. That's what we're going to see. We're going to see an APT on Grievous. We're going to see a shot from Duchess. Still not super likely to kill Grievous. Rolling 4 green dice. It'll be 8 red dice versus 4 green dice with a focus. So a lot of things can happen, but I think that's an interesting choice by Jesse trying to wipe Grievous off the table early.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to get the bullseye with Soontir. So he's kind of
I
going
think
over
a
what
left
his
barrel
best
roll just
options
gets
are.
it. I think because of Soontir's it's kind of like a 45-degree angle. I think a left barrel roll gets him a bullseye. It's close, but also puts him in a weird spot behind that rock. I think he'd rather be on the other side, on the right side of that rock. Or sorry, Soontir's right of that rock.
Evade here. He's going for it.
Yeah, I think he picks up the bullseye here, just barely. I could be wrong at this angle. It's a little tough to tell. It'll be close.
I think he got it if he's in range.
So he's gonna have two ships who've activated Predator. So now he just gave himself
Just got it.
Now he's
Nice.
Look at that.
give himself 3 more dice with a focus and a reroll. So there is a non-zero chance that Grievous goes off the table here. So Jesse with those aces, with those I4, 5, and 6, really able to make that call, after the fact, which is kind of what these lists are all about. See where the ships are, then you do your priorities. And with Duchess being able to have her pseudo advanced sensors, she can be where she wants to be. All right, hit crit coming from
Predator.
only hit crit.
Hit crit.
So we're gonna see 4 dice back from Steven. Steven
He's
sees.
got to spend it. Well, he doesn't have to.
I wonder if he's. Well, it's a good question. So he's thinking about it because the question is it worth? Yep. He's gonna take the evade from the focus. Seeing, I think if his ability turned on.
I think the focus randomly went away. They should have a focus.
Yeah, it's 2.
You just threw it over there. Yeah.
Yeah, they know. All right, so now we're gonna see 3 dice against 3. No mods for Steven. Plenty of mods for Duchess.
He has
Gets the one reroll.
in.
2 more
Okay.
hits.
If Grievous rolls out of this,
He's in good position. He just did.
Oh.
All right.
all right. And I think Grievous shoots first because of initiative, and then
That's
we'll see what the APT does. But
All right, so 4 dice, no mods, no passive ability from Grievous here, so we'll see what Steven gets.
all right,
Whatever
dice are
it
being
is.
finicky still.
Oh.
Don't know if that was his roll. Here comes his roll.
Only one.
Oh.
Not what he's looking for there. Takes
Just
1 though.
Take it. Yep.
First damage of the game.
So 8 health left on Death Rain, facing a lot of red dice from those HOPs, but they kind of need to be perfect to kill Death Rain at this point.
So now that you've done no damage to Grievous, if you're Jesse, do you switch up to the HMPs now?
Man, that APT is so tempting though, with no mods on Grievous. It's a good question, Nathan. I don't know the answer, to be honest.
I mean, the thought is like next round,
Mhm.
you can probably APT one of them if they go forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Because like
even
you
if they
can,
try to block
you
it,
can
yeah.
drop the bombs and
Yeah.
just lock.
Exactly. You lock yellow, I think, or if you expect them to try to come up and bump you. I don't.
And even if you damage Grievous in the situation, he's going to be off into the wind. So I actually
Right.
think in this situation, I think you switch targets because you've got nothing into Grievous.
Yeah.
I think he's just deciding which one to switch targets to. It may be
Right.
yellow.
Mhm.
Hit him with the diamond boron here, and then even if you bump, you've got that APT. Granted, if he doesn't hit the rock, which is kind of close.
Yeah, that rock.
Going for Grievous.
That rock is a tough one for
He's
potential
going.
bumps
He's
next
going.
round.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going for the APT.
I like this.
I think both are obviously
Yeah.
good options at this point.
So luckily that was not that Steven's actual roll.
Yeah.
Oh, I
No,
think
no,
I
it's
don't think that was
changing
Jesse's
his
roll either.
mind.
The dice are being weird.
So we're gonna see a diamond boron. Jesse kind of I think he like I said, Nathan, they're both good choices, but a real chance here to splash some damage onto all 3 HMPs and maybe make them spend a calculate here.
No, gotta spend it.
Sorry, spend the lock.
Not a lot.
Gotta spend it.
There we go.
Okay.
That's better.
But that does clear the focus token out, right? So there is, all right. So we're gonna see 2 off of yellow, and then it'll probably splash 1 to each one of them. But they'll roll for it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who this one is for. We'll see if he pings it.
So
Okay.
how many games of Aces high are we playing in the after party?
So red will take a hit.
I'll take it.
I think if more than anything, you really want that splash damage on yellow.
Mm-hmm. None for
Oh.
yellow, and then we'll see 1 more for green. That's the beauty of the diamond boron. As you splash damage onto the ship that's already been shot. It's maximum disrespect. And nothing. So gets 2 damage out of that diamond boron missile. Not amazing. I'm sorry, 2 damage, right?
Yep, 2 damage total.
Total.
Or sorry, two on yellow, One
Right,
red.
right, right. So 3 damage total. So now we're going to see the first HLC shot here. So no tokens for Jesse.
They are all calculating.
All
so.
calculating with 1 reroll. So
Here's the thing, though. If
yeah.
Steven has to spend the calculates, Jesse gets the range bonus if it's available.
Right. So 2
But not
dice,
on
so
this one.
reroll that one. 3 hits.
3.
See what Jesse gets. Looking for natural evade here. Does not get it. Takes 3 damage. That's shields down and a hull. Jesse now looking at 5 health left in death range. So now is when he starts to get really nervous here. So because now the range bonus doesn't matter. Steven's able to spend his calculates freely here. Jesse needs 2 natural evades if Steven can keep this kind of hot dice. These 3 hits coming.
And these things are so consistent.
Mm-hmm. There it is again.
Saying.
So they'll drop
Crit
a
is
crit.
definitely going through.
So Jesse needs an evade here to really kind of be on the right side of the damage race. Gets it.
Got
Hit crit.
it.
See what that crit is though.
Well, and because of Kraken, Steven could spend his calculate and still have 1 to negate the range, even though it was range 2. Excuse me.
Is that console fire?
It's not a lot of text. Damage engine.
Damage engine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
One last concussion missile, presumably coming here.
Oh no, and there's lots of cards to expose.
Yep. 3 with a reroll, or I guess a target lock, so he could. Oh, now he's got so we can reroll that last one, and hope that he ends up with a normal hit here. He does. 3 hits coming in. If we see anything that's not anything but an evade, this is a dead death rain. Oh, gets it.
But will he expose a direct hit? Oh god! Oh god!
Take a look. Wow, Jesse rolled 2 natural evades there, just enough to stay alive, depending on what is flipped over here. Weapons,
Okay.
structural damage. It doesn't matter at this point. So a sigh of relief that will mean that we might get a nice APT shot next round. So putting 5 red dice back on the table is huge here. It cannot be understated how big that is.
But that is exactly what Steven wanted, I think, also, is that Jesse did some damage, but it's fairly spread out over the HMPs.
Yeah, and down to a 1 health, 0 agility Death Rain. It's not going to take all 3 HMPs to kill Death Rain. So he's going to have some other shots on the rest of Jesse's list this game. But kind of just to take a quick check-in with the scoreboard here, we've got 43 minutes left in this game. Steven now up. He's killed 30 points of Jesse's list. And Jesse currently with no points on the board, but did manage to put a few damage into those HMPs. But like I said, not as much I think as he would have hoped.
And that is definitely not to say that I think Jesse played this opening engagement wrong. Like
No.
he has excellent positioning against Grievous right now. It's just that was a little bit of a rough turn.
Yeah. So now the question is, if you're Steven, either you're side slipping, which one of the aces are you going to turn your back to?
I think you turn your back to.
Go ahead, sorry.
I think you turn your back to Duchess because that means Soontir doesn't have a way to really come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree because Grievous also has Daredevil, which could be a bad day for Soontir.
Although now that I say that, Duchess, if you let her get too close in, does horrible things to you with the proximity mines, and like Soontir's probably the one Jesse has to play Cager with. So I think I'm changing my mind, and I think you do the side slip towards you turn your back to Soontir. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I think it's a 50-50 call.
Yeah, I think the chance to put some damage into Duchess. If I could,
4K no los dos and split them up.
I was thinking of that, but I think you just want I think you want your guns on 2 ships, not 3. I don't know. It's my again. This is my own kind of amateur call for 2 lists that I've not played for a long time. I've never played Jesse's list. That's not true. I played it once and played it poorly. But I think if I was going to turn, I would turn all my ships that way. I'm just pouring SLCs into Duchess or Soontir if I can kill Death Rain quickly.
Yeah, because you're really only going to need one of them to finish
one
off
shot.
Death Rain this round.
Yeah, you only need 1 shot in Death Rain, and then you got 3 more guns somewhere else. I mean, now the
Below
question
at Death Rain, and he's going to die now because he's rolling 0 agility.
Yeah. So you do have a stress Soontir. So Soontir's not going to like blaze in with a 3 bank, right? Not that he probably would anyways, but he's not going to 1 hard and try to come back around and barrel roll around that asteroid. So Soontir's coming in between this gas cloud and rock, and I mean conceivably, Duchess could decide not to take her aileron and do a 1 hard, but I don't know what that gets you. So I think my guess is both of Jesse's aces are coming in, between obstacles. So it kind of gives him a funnel. So I think if Steven picks one way to turn here, he will have one of those aces in arc.
Yeah, unless Jesse completely disengages, there isn't really a great way for him to.
Right, but the beauty is, like,
and,
if he disengages, you still have your HMPs on death ray and kill him anyway. So and then
Yep.
Grievous is behind somebody. So it's tough. This is Steven's not in an ideal position, but I think Jesse's got some tough choices this round.
What was the burn that Steven had against Death Ray? It was like he's going to turn him into a life sunshine.
Yeah, exactly right.
So you're probably going to see a target lock here with this action.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing down the delayed fuse so he doesn't kill himself. Take the focus.
I think he is anticipating.
Dropping another one to grab the target lock.
Yeah, you got it. I think you got to drop a lock in case a block happens here.
Yeah.
Or it does a stall.
Yeah.
Well, I really think he'll hit that rock if he just goes straight.
Well, if he does a stall, though, he can't. He's got no target lock, so I think he's got target lock here, and just hope he doesn't get bumped onto that rock. Yeah, there's just enough of that medium base clipping that lane where the worst case scenario is for Jesse to somehow get bumped back onto that rock. So we're gonna see a bank.
I think it's clear, but that's getting.
You might be
really
right.
close.
It's hard to see from it. So man, look at this. Just like the beauty of those side slips. You can take the bank, and now he's got rock cover. He will have both ships in front of him unless Soontir turns away with those 180-degree arcs. So what Steven's done here is he doesn't have to make a choice. He will have in some capacity have all three of Jesse's ships in front of at least one of his HMPs here.
When Steven was talking to me about why he likes this list so much, I think he mentioned that it's something that is in the meta, but it's sort of flying under the radar with the meta, and it flies weird. So he said that he thought if he could figure it out and get good with it, that it would be something that would be really hard for people to wrap their brains around. And
yeah.
I think that's exactly what it does. Is it just in a lot of ways it breaks the rules of how you think a list works. Like these ships have not moved substantially around the board, and in a game of X-Wing, you sort of anticipate this level of inertia that the other opponent's list is. You think, okay, I've moved this distance, so that means the other opponent's, and this list just doesn't do that. It stays where it picks a territory and it defends it, and it makes it really hard for you to come into that area.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And if you look at the heat map of Steven's movements over the course of this game, it would be a little sphere over in that one middle of the board, kind of a little bit left and a little bit right. And I'm wondering here if Steven's contemplating a barrel roll focus to kind of block Soontir from getting into that pocket there. But that pocket sucks. I mean, like if Soontir gets into that pocket, it's not great for him. Like it is a lot.
Yep.
These HMPs have just opened up a net of pain for Steven's whole list here.
I like that move with Grievous because there's no way really for Soontir to engage Grievous at this point.
Right. All right, so that one forward. He's definitely got APT.
Cleared.
He's got arc right on.
He's got arc
on green and yellow.
Yeah. And did he lock green, right? No, he locked the yellow.
I think he locked the back. Yeah.
So
that's where he's got damage.
So no APT going into yellow, unless he does something. Well, I don't think there's any way for him to do it. Yeah, he's gonna pass
sensors.
Right, but he can't reposition in a way that gets him.
That's a really smart move by Jesse because he's got a focus, and the passive can give him a calculate or let him reacquire a lock to a better target.
Yeah.
Not that I think there is one, but
I mean,
calculate focus is what he needs currently.
Yeah, I think knowing that we've got a last hurrah for he fit the boost. He fit the boost. What a play! He looked at it. He contemplated it. That is a professional level X-Wing player right there.
There's just a couple pixels between the two. Wow.
If that fails, I mean, he's still going to fire a diamond boron missile. It's not the worst thing in the world, but so it was worth risking it. But I think that gives him the APT that could just change the face of this game damage wise.
That is an angry death rain. All right.
So yeah, I was really curious if Grievous was going to try to barrel roll into that exactly where Soontir is and block him from getting in there. I don't know, because now you got. I think yellow's off the board this turn.
This is a really good example of like the end of last round. You would think that Steven has a massive advantage in this game, and Jesse playing aggressively, doing what he needs to, and we'll see how the dice shake out this round. But Jesse doing what he needs to do in this round to really like keep himself competitive in the game.
Right. And it's hard to choose the HMP that you want to take out first, but by getting to this position, he's going to take off Steven's most valuable HMP. Not only the SLC, huge offense, but that Kraken off the board too. So I was going for green for that reroll. All right.
Got the reroll.
That's a lot of focus tokens. I think I know it's got the focus, but I think Jesse was hoping for
I think
more
at this point you just need raw damage.
Yeah, so we're going to see 3 hits into green.
Strip those shields.
So this means that yellow's going to stick. Yellow won't die here, most likely. Unless he takes it. I mean, Duchess shot here.
He's got the shot with Duchess.
Yeah.
I think you definitely take it at yellow.
Yeah, I think you got to. Okay. I mean, I get that you get what he's doing here, but I
all right.
Fifth brother for two crits and a hit.
He's gonna get some crits in.
Yeah. I think what's tough about this is it lets you have 1 ship to kill Death Rain and 2 ships to shoot Soontir. So
double crits coming in.
2 crits going into that green.
Direct hit.
Exactly what he needs. We're at half. Nope. Yeah, we're at half.
Yep.
Weapons failure would be great now.
Blinded pilot.
Okay.
That's big. That's big because you can't network aim or calculate, right?
That shuts down everything.
Yeah. So I think you shoot with red first into Death Rain.
When do you think we're gonna get our first Force sensitive droid in this game?
Good question. All right, so 5 dice, 6 health still in that yellow HMP. Ooh, nice roll.
Yep.
That's the difference between Death Rain dying last round and surviving 1 more turn. That's huge.
Nice.
5 hits, at least 4 going into yellow. I mean,
1 becomes a crit.
Yeah, they'll be most likely. Well, we'll see how the roll is before I speak too soon. Okay, so 3 hits and a crit. So we're gonna take a shield and 3 hits down to 2 hull. See what the crit is here. I mean, there may still be 3 HMPs on the table, but they are not long for this world.
Right. This makes it very manageable for Jesse at this point.
Right. Soontir and Duchess can handle them independently next round.
Wounded pilot? No. What is that?
Wounded. Yep.
Okay. All right.
I mean, this also depends on what is left on the table for Jesse after this round, but I will eat a hat that I don't own if Duchess and Death Rain or Death Rain and Soontir die this round.
Yeah. Yeah, I think best case for Steven here is a dead Death Rain and half on Soontir, something like that. But I think you use green, who's got the blinded pilot, to kill Death Rain. He's gonna get 3 dice. No mods, but against 0 green dice. Okay, gonna take yellow. That's surprising because yellow.
I think you start with green because green has the best shot on. Yeah, here we go.
Okay, yeah.
Because you have range 1 shots against Soontir with yellow and red.
Yeah, exactly. So and this is a 3 dice against 0 because the structural damage on Death Rain. I think. Yeah. Even with no mods, I think your chance is right there. You like guaranteed death. I don't know. That wasn't the roll.
But... Oh my God! He can't mod because it's the green one.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why he went first with green. Is that your odds of getting a hit on 3 dice is pretty high, but that's huge. Not being able to put 2 range 1 shots into Soontir, that stinks. Now you got to waste a shot on yellow and Death Rain, and then oh boy,
that droid's being melted down for scrap after this.
So there's a dead Death Rain.
Okay. All right.
So Jesse just traded Death Rain for 12 damage into 2 of those HMPs. I think that's a great trade.
Early on is what we said he needed to do. He hasn't gotten anything off the board, but he's in such a good position next round to delete things.
Yeah, and Grievous isn't going to be a huge factor next round. So now you just need a miracle roll here. Let's start.
Okay.
To start, gotta see at least 1 more evade in there, a couple more evades. No problem. No problem. This is Jesse's aces. They don't take damage.
Hear a twinge of salt in your voice.
I just seen Jesse play.
Today's goal, Lab Squadron sponsored by Morton Salt, the finest salt in the land.
Man, to think that Steven had to pass up.
I think
Is
that was probably
salt canon in Star Wars? Has there been a confirmed mention of salt in
That's a
Star?
good
These
question.
these are just the random ramblings that I'm going to
uh,
ask throughout the rest of this game.
Mhm.
right. No, Last Jedi.
Oh, there was.
Right.
Salt is canon. This is what we needed to know. Ducks are canon. Salt is canon. This is fantastic.
Now, no side slip for these droids this turn. But with yellow still being on the board, obviously Kraken's still in play, which is good for having that extra calculate. All right, so right now, tail of the tape, we've got Jesse, who is currently down by 9 points. So still a close game. Got 30 minutes left here. But I think, again, I think the exchange that Jesse just had there, keeping Death Rain alive for one more turn and wasting 2 more of those HMP shots to kill him was exactly what he needed.
And Steven can't sideslip this round, so he's got to play the normal game, which puts these guys actually in kind of a rough position.
Mm-hmm.
And Soontir's not stressed, which is great for Jesse.
Yeah. We'll see a turnaround move here by Grievous, and he'll get back with some of these passive rerolls at some point here.
He has is it a 5K and a 3 sloop?
I believe that's the case. Sorry, no, just the 3 sloop.
Oh, interesting.
And when your only options are sloop, that can sometimes be a little frustrating, kind of forcing you to go off your vector.
Yeah. It's like how it's always sometimes frustrating that most rebel ships only have like the Talons and the K turn.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I'm curious about that turn is, Steven had the option to barrel roll in and focus and block that lane for Soontir. Obviously, he chose to turn out. I wonder if he's thinking about that now, that choice, and what that kind of led him to with Grievous out of the fight, with a tokened up Soontir, focus evade. Obviously, Soontir would still have gotten the focus token and still would have put that damage into green, but I think in a perfect world, I think maybe Steven would have loved the block there.
Yeah, and he had the resources in terms of health to trade there, but
that said, that would have only netted him 1 shield on Soontir. So
I also think that there was likely a 50-50 chance that Jesse would turn out with Soontir. Like Jesse chose the aggressive play.
Yeah.
But it's equally likely that you get a good block on Soontir, and then your HMPs are able to take side pot shots at Soontir.
Yeah.
Who's blocked turning away.
Right. All right, so Jesse confident in this turn. So
do the droids have a 1 bank?
It is, but it's red, I believe.
Oh.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, they've got a red 1 bank, which is.
I still think that maybe his best maneuver, given that he has the target lock on Duchess already.
I think so too, and also because the 2 hard blue side slip is. Oh, it's going to stop right there. That's even better too. So, with Kraken and networked aim, taking these red maneuvers, knowing you can side slip a 2 hard next round and clear that red is big.
So, I forgot they have a hard maneuver or a stop maneuver, which.
Yeah. All right. So looking for a block here on either the aileron or the actual move itself, with green, clearing his blinded pilot.
I want to see the sloop from Soontir.
That sloop fits.
Yeah, I think that sloop definitely still fits. Gonna clear his wounded pilot. I believe he's thinking about that.
That sloop might even give you bullseye.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does, but he's thinking if he wants to. Ooh, what is he thinking? Very tense moment here in this game as Steven considers his action with yellow there. He is sitting on a wounded pilot.
Dude, they have a red barrel roll.
They do. They have a red barrel roll, which I think is kind of what he's thinking about here. But that wounded pilot's tough. But then again, what's a wounded pilot if he's gonna, a sloop kills him? So.
I think you don't worry about the stress because you just figure you're likely dead.
Yeah. Taking a target lock on Duchess.
I like that.
2 rerolls.
Rolling for the stress.
Yeah, not being stressed from his maneuver, I think makes that choice pretty easy.
Yep. And
We
we'll
should
get
see
Grievous.
turn around from Grievous, yeah.
I'm just gonna do 1,
Yeah.
maybe a boost.
He's got Daredevil.
He's got
so he can pull
Daredevil.
that out,
Oh,
yeah.
right, he's got that hard, of course.
Look at
There
that.
it is.
Look at
Of
that.
course. Now, do you save yourself? Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to put him in a not great spot behind that rock for next turn, but, you know, what are you going to do? All right, now the question is, Duchess to aileron or not to aileron, depending on what the move is here.
The interesting thing is, like, based on what he's dialed in with Duchess, if he ailerons and then had, a 2 straight maneuver or others, like, Steven has set up his droids in a way that it blocks a lot of the maneuvers moving forward.
Exactly. You know what I like about, so no aileron, straight up bump, going to get that Predator and Fifth Brother trusting his shot here.
Yep.
Now, if he Soontir sloops, oh, the bump. Oh, man. If he had slooped, not only would he have been behind these guys, but he also would have blocked, I think, a juicy side slip from Red next turn. But that's fine. I think he's...
Get the focus,
Still
and
gets
if
the
he
focus.
caught green
Here's a
in
real.
our,
He doesn't
No.
have green. Green
Yeah.
is out clear. That's a big deal this round.
It sure is.
Because Soontir has no shots.
No, I think you sure. Oh yeah, you're right. No shots from Soontir. That's a bet. You're right. That is a huge play. We're only going to see 1 shot from Duchess. Could still definitely kill yellow here. But that would, so we still have a nice range 1 shot from. Yeah, so range 2 shot.
Got both. Yeah.
Needs to put 2 damage through. Has Fifth Brother and a bullseye for Predator, even without a token. So we'll see what we got here. Oh, those bombs do go away at some point. Yeah, there they go.
Yeah.
We got them. So 23 minutes left. We're getting down to the real end here. All right, so hit.
All right, that's a
critical
good start.
roll from Predator.
He got
It
it.
gets the Fifth
Yep.
Brother here. Got to spend it to kill yellow. No reason to hold on to that. That's an automatic
And that's
kill.
a big deal for Jesse too, because that means that Duchess is only taking 1 shot. Basically, Soontir's only taking 1. Soontir and Duchess are each only going to take 1 shot from these droids.
Yeah, and now Kraken is no longer in play for Steven's list. All right, so we've got 2 shots here coming into Soontir. 1 from a flanking Grievous and 1 from Red at range 1 with a calculate and a reroll. 2 rerolls. No, 1. No, 2. Yeah, 2 rerolls. So
Grievous will shoot first.
this will be obstructed most likely.
Grievous will get his 2 rerolls from his ability, correct?
That's correct.
Yep.
No token. All right, so that kill puts Jesse up by 18 points right now.
Not
Just obstructed. Oh no, I'm sorry. Unobstructed shot to Soontir. You're right, Ken. At range 2. This is big. This is big for Steven here.
This is not the roll.
If he can
not the
sneak in,
roll.
if he can strip that focus token, gets a reroll. That's a good start. Boom. Hit,
Oof.
crit.
Jesse needs
Steven
2.
Clench.
It's going to take 1 and to take the focus out. So this will be
Yep.
1
That'll
shield
be the
down.
shield. Yep.
That's
that's
what it's there
That's
for.
what the shield is for, to make sure that crit doesn't go through initially. But now we're going to see a range 1, 3-dice shot, 3 against 3, 2 rerolls, and a calculate for that HMP. No tokens for Soontir. Jesse really holding his breath with his shot here.
Yeah, these are the shots that Jesse would say he always clenches in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hit,
Ow.
crit. We're going to see what Jesse rolls here. Needs to see some nice squiggles on there. Oh my god. Oh my god, Jesse.
Cool as a cucumber, no problem.
How
That was
deflating
great.
is that to Steven?
That was what you set up this whole thing for. And Soontir just rolls 3, evades out of it. Doesn't take a
Guarantee
single
Jesse
lick
feels
of
12
damage.
feet tall right now.
This just proves that Jesse actually isn't a good ace player. He just rolls well. We all know it, right? Right?
I can't. So now, but the ability does trigger here. Not that it will necessarily matter based on how Soontir flies, but we've got 20 minutes left. We've got 2 side slipping HMPs who can keep Duchess in front of them.
That is so gross.
I mean, getting half on Soontir, getting 32 points was so important there for getting kind of Steven up a leg up in this game. Man, that is just demoralizing. I think Steven's pretty happy there's a second game coming so he can get his revenge now.
We're gonna have to do this again later this week.
I would not count out Steven.
No, I'd never count on Steven. Absolutely. The guy is a closer in X-Wing. So I wouldn't worry about him too much. But I think what's nice right now for Jesse is that Grievous is, being, I think, or is Grievous unstressed?
No, Grievous is stressed.
He's stressed. So
I think you just one hard white and just, or at this point say, I mean, Grievous has a lot of health.
You just go with that rock? Yeah, you could. I think you got to watch out for Duchess coming in there too, though. That's the one problem. So we'll see where the side slip happens. I think red side slips, well, you may not even have to side slip with red this round. Well, if you bank, you got to side slip. So I guess you don't want to go straight.
Grievous also has a lock on Duchess from the early game, so that may be relevant.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how this entire game has been on one half of the board?
Not even one half. One little tiny third. Mostly the pocket of these obstacles. So.
Do we see Duchess drop Prox Mine here?
I think with those repulsive lifts active, I don't think the drop happens.
Yeah.
I think Jesse likes to drop a Prox Mine when he knows it's going to hit, or it's a guaranteed kind of closing down a lane. I don't think that necessarily closes down a lane per se. Oh, we got a time stoppage here. Stop the time real quick. I think Steven has to go take a break outside just to console himself with those triple evades he just saw.
Oof.
See, before, I told you guys Soontir doesn't die. You guys laughed it off. I'm telling you, Jesse Soontir doesn't die. He sticks around.
Just have Wedge shoot a proton torpedo at him. Trust me, he dies.
I wonder what they're talking about here. Is it when the strain happens? No, it's after the attack, so that wouldn't have triggered on the... Yeah, it's after you perform an attack, so that wouldn't have strained Soontir before the shot.
I don't know. Maybe Jesse needs to quickly paint all of the ships purple to continue playing.
So this yellow target lock should be gone, I think, because that's
correct. Yeah, let me clear that out real quick.
Also, while we're paused, Tom, you should take a quick peek at Jesse's side of the board and just.
Oh, all the dice are just pooled. I can't. I'll lose my shit. Sorry, family-friendly show. I'll lose my cool. Back 19 even. Have they started time yet?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Steven locked in. Jesse, thinking about Soontir, locks him in. We'll see where these guys go. I'm really curious about the side slips here.
So,
yeah.
Do you sloop with Soontir in this position, knowing that Steven's likely side slipping, and then you're behind both of them?
I think you
just
absolutely
keep the strain.
I think you do, but I feel like Jesse never sloops.
That would be the aggressive move that I would do, and probably end up losing because of it somehow.
So we got another pause.
Another pause.
There's got to be some sort of rules discussion going on here about when something triggers or what have you.
Yeah, Soontir has rock cover from Grievous. Well, no, you know what? A side slip from red. Oh, well, no, even a side slip wouldn't get soon. Man, I think we might see a sloop here. All right, so let me start time again.
What?
Oh, that he's anticipating that. Went through a rock, but says, "Who cares? I want a shot."
Let me tell him to start the clock.
Yeah. So no damage from the rock, no action, but he still has a target lock on both these ships to get some network game going.
I feel like you just see Jesse play conservative and he two hearts out.
Up on points with not a lot of time left. But if Duchess has a bad round here, which he may very well have, then Steven can find himself back up on points. So gonna do that red barrel roll. He's got plenty of network game options here, and maybe looking for a block on Soontir, trying to bank out.
It's a solid Duchess kill box if he gets her in there.
Grievous taking a 5-4 through the rock. Just trying. He's trying to shut down Soontir's escape options. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Just he's going to get Arc on Soontir, by hell or high water here. We'll take a damage from that rock, but I think that's being down at points. That's the gamble you want to see here. Duchess thinking about her aileron options here. Now, if we'll see where the option. And usually, we probably saw a bank turn here from Jesse, maybe thinking about where that would put him in terms of Grievous, without the aileron.
Is the 5 straight on Grievous blue or is it white?
I believe.
Just
It's
seemed
white.
to clear that. Okay. So
yeah, stress still there, right?
he remains
Yeah,
stressed.
He's still, yes, the stress is still there.
Yep.
Aileron 3 forward. With the 1 heart, I guess you're not worried there. Barrel roll out. Oh, he's still in arc. I think with the barrel roll.
Yep.
If he goes all the way forward, I think he gets out.
Think forward gets out? He's not.
But not with that. He's definitely still in.
But that is a prox mine.
I see. That's the reason for it. Okay, gonna drop a prox mine on Grievous. So hoping to trade some damage for damage here. Now red has got a nice SLC shot. No, I'm sorry. That's the got a concussion missile shot at Duchess. Grievous with a range 1 multiple reroll shot. I mean, Soontir may have escaped damage this time. There may be a prox mine being dropped, but Duchess is gonna give up half here.
Yeah, I think you take the range 1 at. You get the rerolls.
Yeah.
Plus you have a target lock.
Yeah, because if you can take Duchess down to half here, and then not take half on Grievous, you are in the points driver's seat in the late game.
It's not
here.
the roll.
Oh, okay, cool. Glad that wasn't the roll because that was an awful roll. Oh, there's
that
the roll.
That is the roll.
Now he gets 1 passive Grievous reroll here. Oof, 2 hits,
2
2 crits.
All right, so crit is definitely going in.
All right.
We're gonna see 3 damage
Not
going
great.
here.
And your 5th, yep. So that's hit or shield and 2 crits.
Yep.
That's half.
Weapons failure. And panicked pilot. Not great.
That stress hurts.
Though she can still aileron.
Yeah, she can still. Well, she won't. I doubt she won't aileron facing the board like she is right now. But yeah, point taken. Is it damage engine? Is that the other one? I'm sorry, no. Panic pilot and
Weapons failure.
weapons failure.
So,
Also not great.
but we'll see if she's still alive after this.
Yeah, she's got 2 hull left with a concussion missile coming here.
So this is only 2 dice because this is the. I don't think he doesn't have the target lock on.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay.
Nope.
All right.
But
So passive reroll.
gets
here.
the reroll from Grievous.
2 hits. Got to see an evade here. Oh, we don't.
Oh,
Oh, we don't. That's a dead Duchess. Huge, huge play.
Oh, this game has swung so many times in different directions in such a good way.
In 1 turn, because of that 5 straight, that risky play from Steven, he just grabbed 70 points in the last 15 minutes of this game. You've got
that is such a good example of Steven knowing the optimal play, knowing that he has enough mods out there on the board to do what he needs to do to get Duchess off the table.
And what I love is now Soontir is forced in the last 13 minutes here to come in offensively to grab some points. You've got a green HMP that is not that can do a 2 hard next turn and keep Soontir in front of him. You've got Grievous behind. Like all of Steven's ships are behind Soontir. There's no easy way for him to get around him in the time that's left. This is going to be a great finish, but that mountain of points that Jesse has to climb now, down 52 points. It's huge.
Duchess is super hard to kill and squirrely until she lands in an arc without a way to get out of it, and that's exactly what happened last round.
And just like we saw Death Rain sticking around 1 more turn to be able to drop an APT into Steven's list, we just saw Death Rain deny the opportunity to drop her prox mine this round, taking damage off the table, making that mountain harder to climb. I mean that could not have gone any better for Steven right there.
And even if green doesn't get a shot, that is still a body that Soontir has to shoot into to get points.
Right. I mean, just what a play. Just littering the field with options for himself, covering all his bases, spreading the net so wide that there was no way for Jesse to really get completely out of it. Just that is high level X-Wing play right there.
The tyranny of the droid menace grows.
Trying to see it too hard here. That's blue.
And you guys said it like
Yeah.
never count Steven out. I know me. I would see three evades from Soontir and just be on absolute tilt the rest of the game. Steven keeping his eye on the prize, keeping his end game win scenario alive and executing. That's why
This
he's the
barrel
closer of
roll is
this game.
super smart.
Oh yeah.
There's no way for really Soontir to get out of arc in this.
I mean, rarely do you kill one of someone's aces and have all three of your guns on the other ace next round. This is pretty clutch here for Steven.
That's not where Soontir wants to be.
Guess he was hoping to be a little further out, but just going to focus up, rely on his dice. Get a little breathing room.
But only relying on one evade against 3 shots here.
Grievous will get 2 rerolls.
Mm-hmm. When do you see Grievous getting flanking rerolls on Soontir? Not very often.
Doesn't need him.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right.
Send that evade.
Now he's gonna take 2 more shots here. It's got an
So
S.
green doesn't have a calculate, so
Right. So
not that it actually matters because it's range 2, but
yeah, still can take an SLC, but no range most. Yeah, right. We'll get. Oh my god, we'll get a reroll here. Ooh.
it's fine. Everything's fine.
Soontir just. Now here again, Jesse. Can he drop those 3 evades? Like a. Oh my god! Look at this. Look at this guy.
I can't even. I can't.
All right, so now we'll do a concussion missile, even though there's no cards to flip.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Oh,
Unbelievable Soontir rolling here.
10 minutes left in this game, and Jesse's just like, whatever, I don't care. I'll just roll green.
Mm-hmm. Here's that.
All right,
Get the
reroll.
Network reroll. See if we can drop some concussion damage into Soontir. Oof,
All
2
right.
hits and a crit. Again. See if
Jesse
you can do it. Nope,
No,
not this time.
and it
Yeah,
fled.
there's the game.
That's the game.
Whew.
Wow. So with 10
more evades than it should have been.
with 10 minutes left here, Steven finishes off Soontir Fell, finished off Duchess the round before that, a couple rounds back, finished off Death Rain. I mean, this game, I don't think Jesse could have asked for a better opening engagement, but just the consistency of those rolls, the time on target, the ability to kind of spread those arcs, spread the net, get Grievous, get a pocket for Grievous to get in there and really kind of capitalize. Like this was a great list and a great game played by Steven. A great game played by both these players, but Steven really kind of leveraging this list to its fullest ability.
I think what I really enjoyed about this game is that you saw both players really fundamentally understanding what their winning conditions were and like how their disadvantages and advantages, and doing what they needed as the game swung in a different direction to get back in it. And it just, obviously both players played very well, but the game just sort of swung in Steven's direction at the exact right moment for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was funny for all the good positioning that Jesse had. His list puts out offense, but not a ton of offense. And we end up with Steven's. Steven's got an almost fully healthy DGS 047 and almost fully healthy Grievous. In a green with 2 health left. So there was still a lot of damage in that list for Steven to still have to give up. So this HOB list is terrifying. I gotta tell you.
Steven is our champion. What does he win?
Does he win anything besides pride? I don't think so, right?
He wins nothing.
He wins nothing.
Absolutely nothing. this was all for nothing.
Where's Craig? Where's the event organizer?
Well, for all of you watching at home, I want to thank you guys for being here along for the ride, seeing this tournament, maybe watching, on last weekend, but definitely tuning in for the finals and seeing this kind of thrilling matchup between 2 great X-Wing players, 2 great lists, and really, a fun end to this game. But I really actually want to thank Ken and Nathan. Thank you both also for being here in the virtual booth, helping take us on this journey.
Our pleasure.
Glad to be here.
All right. Well, just want to sign off from us here in Washington, D.C. and across the country for Labyrinth Squadron here in our Whitebird Invitational. Congratulations to Steven as a champion. Congratulations to Jesse, a very well-fought finals and a fantastic road to get there, fighting his way back to the second chance bracket. And until we stream again next time, just want to wish you guys all out there a healthy and safe April. Thanks, guys.